Hello, welcome to the Colourful Creativity podcast. My name is Caroline and this is episode 153. You can find me online everywhere as Kralaline, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Ravelry, Patreon, Ko-Fi, and I have a webshop, colourfulcreativity.nl or colourfulcreativity.com. We'll get into Patreon later on. First of all, welcome to all viewers. Welcome back if you are a returning viewer, and a very warm welcome if you are a first-time viewer. I hope you like it here. Hit subscribe down below and become a returning viewer. Right, I'm gonna dive in the creative stuff right away. The rest will come later. I have a finished pair of socks. Whoop whoop. The vanilla is the new black socks are finished, and vanilla is the new black is basically a very vanilla sock but with a very special heel. I think the pattern is by Anneh Fletcher, but I will have put it in the show notes down below. Sorry if I had the name wrong, but I think it was that. I did prepare, but I didn't look up the name of the designer. So, not quite prepared. So this is the heel. You increase with knits and purls, and then you knit a heel turn and pick up those stitches from the heel flap. It's a very interesting thing to do something else for a change. I had a good reason to try a different heel in this way, because I think it will be an amazing heel for a pair of socks I'm planning to knit with the mitten design that I was test knitting a little while back. The Parker Tree mitts by Victoria Marchant Knits. Victoria Marchant. So yeah, they are now finished. I had them in my purse and we went to friends for a barbecue. And I just sat there knitting mindlessly around. I was through the heel. I only had to do the foot and the toe, and I managed both. I just didn't bring my needle to close up the toe. So that was a very nice day, and it was the first time in a good week of no knitting at all. So yeah, that was a nice change after a week of no knitting. The yarn I used is Regia Pairfect in rainbow. You can find it in the web shop. I sell these because rainbows are a thing, and definitely are my thing, and I love them, so I have added them to the shop. So here you go. A finished object for the first time since 20th of June. So it took me 2 months to finally have another finished object, knitting wise. Oh, I knit those with 64 stitches and 2.5mm needles. High sharps, my go-to, and 64 stitches is also my go-to on most yarns. So then my works in progress, because only one finished object. Let's take it slow. My work in progress is still my Velgus sock for the Valgus knit along by Jennifer Roshinsky. And yeah, this is a very special sock. Let me take a sip of water first. Oh, croaky, isn't it good? So yeah, Velga socks are knit flat, and there is an afterthought heel, though I have come to the knowledge that it is called a forethought heel, because you think about it before, because you put in some waste yarn. I will still call it an afterthought heel, and everyone, I mean, I am knitting it after I finish the sock, so it is an afterthought. Seriously, what people are starting fights over and discussions on the internet, I'm really sorry. Just no. you can see how the rainbows are pooling. And I started the next pooling. I've put in a stitch marker because this is now a mindless knitting project, and by putting in the stitch marker in the cable row, I can count from there easier, because I always forget which stitch to take to count the cables. So yeah, see, I need to go back and then it's a cable row. So now I can count way easier. The yarn is No Rainbows Without Rain, and this is an older batch. This is a bit lighter one, and it is coming from a frogged sweater. And I thought it would be nice to use it again. It is Soft Sock, which is my favorite base. And yeah, really enjoying this. This is my second pair I'm knitting. The first one was for Sock Madness this year. And I enjoyed it so much that I definitely wanted to knit myself a pair in No Rainbows Without Rain, because I saw someone else use that colorway for the socks in Sock Madness, and I was like, I need to have a pair as well. Whip number 1. Whip number 2 in this big project bag is Robert's sweater. And Robert's sweater is a sweater from Lana Grossa, and it is knit in Country Tweed Fine. And I can tell you the number. It is 105, and it is a gray with tweedy bits of light and dark gray and blue. Let me see, where was it? Of course I didn't mark the page, I only marked the pattern with my pen in it. This is what it's gonna be. It is a handy neck with zippers, and it's going to be interesting now that I have managed to finish the plain stockinette in the round. I am doing the back piece first. It has a lot of metal in it. I put my needle on one side or the cable with the pandas on one side. And now I'm knitting flat on this side, and I'm going all up. I have done all the, I'm not sure if it were decreases. I think I had to do some bind offs, then some decreases, and now I have to do a bit straight, and then I have to do other things again. But I have to do X centimeters up, and then I will figure it out. But since we are having a bit warmer weather again, this is a bit too warm on my lap, so I'm not knitting on it. I'm using Hiya sharps, and this is the 4mm needles. By the way, I am knitting the Velga Socks on 2.5mm Hiya sharps also, of course. So yeah, this is having a little time out until the weather is a bit cooler. From what I saw, today is the final day. Where is that coming from? Yeah, it's the other side. Today is the final day of really warm weather. It's getting a bit muggy because it rained, and we're gonna get a thunderstorm, so yay. These balls do not come in these pretty cakes. They come in those disc-like floppy things, which I do not like. So I rewind them into yarn cakes. Don't know if I'm the only one who does that, but I really don't like those discs. They are so floppy and messy, and yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. And then I have another work in progress that will probably surprise you. I am crocheting again. just almost 2 weeks ago, about 12 days ago, on Sunday, things happened that I will tell you later, but my knitting mojo was gone, completely gone. We got a visit from Robert's co-worker and friend, and she asked if I could crochet this for her to give away to a friend. She would pay for it, so it wasn't just asking for work. It was definitely paid for, and she knows handwork is expensive. So I was okay to think about it, which I did. I slept on it for a night or two, and then I said, let me try if I can still crochet. Of course I can. But if I still like it, and apparently I did. It is just what I needed. And yeah, this is the Blooming Flower Cushion by Ethic24, Lucy. Lucy has wonderful free patterns on her blog. And that is how I started crafting. My crochet started with Ethic24 patterns. I have crocheted 2 of these already. One for me and one for my mum. And this now is the 3rd. I am far on the blooming, the front already. I think, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This is a 12th flower round or petal round, and I think I need 16 or 17. So, but that's not all. I also have the back. I am working front and back rounds at the same time to keep up, and yeah, it's really exciting to be crocheting again, and something I really love. The yarn I'm using is Drops Muskat, which is a 100% Egyptian cotton, mercerized cotton, and I have a nice mixed bag of colors. I have knit all the cushions with this yarn. You can see this bag is also a pattern from Lucy, and I added a lining bag from jeans with rainbow buttons, of course. Yeah, it's just, I love Lucy's patterns. The yarn was meant to be something else. It has a story. These are all leftovers, and it was going to be a baby blanket for us, for our baby, but the baby never came. And yeah, some people said, no, don't use it, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna use it. These are leftovers, and yeah, I'm okay with it. Probably with all the knowledge I have now, I would just make a woolen baby blanket for my own baby. And yeah, since that's not gonna happen, I will just use the yarn for this project, and I might even be able to make another one because I have so much left still. So yeah, it's fine. Let me see if I can find my, because apparently it fell out of my project. So it must be in the bag. So I can tell you the size. Biggest problem of this bag, of course, is that it is big. And you will always lose your needle. I think I am using a 3.75 millimeter needle or hook. Nope, can't find it. It should be somewhere in here, but I'll probably do that after recording then. Nope, I'm not seeing it. What I am seeing is this one. I kept this with the blanket. So this was a toy for a baby. So yeah, I am keeping it together. And I am not frogging this if I do not need yarn. It looks like I don't need it. There's plenty yarn left. So yeah, crochet. And to make it even more multicraftual, I've also been spinning, and I finished both singles for this spin. Focus there, please. Thank you. As you can see, it's really lumpy bumpy, and this one as well. And they are not even close, probably. I think this one has a lot more, or this one has been wound. Yeah, this one has been wound tighter. This is way looser. So we'll see how it goes with plying. I might do a plying train this weekend. Just apply that up, and also I have to chain ply the rainbow spin still. Oh, those were the whips, and now I have some acquisitions. Because the lovely Renee, I saw her, well, she was in my Team Sock Madness in the True Fleece, and she was spinning a yarn and she didn't like it. So I was like, what? It is beautiful, just send it to me, I'll ply it up and finish it and everything. But no, she wanted to finish it herself, but she did send it to me. So this is definitely the sweetest thing, absolutely. And thank you so much, Renee. You really made my day. It is beautiful. Renee is really good at spinning, and it is gorgeous and even and everything. I still have to measure it though. The fiber is a organic merino, and I'm not showing you the label because I do not like to support the dyer, because they like to support Harry Potter stuff and I do not like that. So yeah, I can look at the label to tell you that the color is called "Cause You Know That You're Toxic," so yeah, could know better, but okay. So yeah, it's really pretty. I'm gonna measure it. It is a good fingering weight yarn, I think. 100% merino and lots of barber poles. Look at that. I think it will be amazing with a dark neutral in some color work. Maybe a Alaska hat or something. I think that would be amazing with these colors. That was not all that Renee sent me. I have an itchy nose from the floof of the fibers. Not just this one, but also my own handspun. She also sent me this beautiful card, and she told me that her grandmother, who was 96, I think, made this. Oh, look at it. It has embroidery and some three-dimensional artwork. I think that's amazing. I've done both and I know it's a lot of work. And there was a really cute message in here. She also sent this little felted bee keychain. Let's see if it can focus. It can. Very cute. And she said instead of pollen, it is taking a little extra look for me. So that's really sweet. Thank you very much, Renee. Next up, I'm showing it to you, but it's also not showing it to you because the next installment for the Cozy Cat Lady Yarn Club by Nora of Wintertagtraum has arrived with a cute little stitch marker again. There you go, a little kitty cat, a lovely message on the card, and 3 packages that are still closed, because yes, I can do that if I want to. Let me see. This one is October. They are labeled. here, October. This is September. And last but not least, we have November. So I'm trying to be good. Keep them closed until the month I can open them. So no spoilers there. Yeah, that was everything yarn, knitting, crochet and spinning related. I'm looking outside. It is still sunny, but it's getting darker. Hoping to get this done before we get any thunderstorms or anything. Shop news. Shop still full, but more exciting, I opened up a Patreon. You can find it at patreon.com/kralalien. And it only has one level at the moment, one tier. I plan on doing more, but Patreon suggested to start with one and then expand from there to find out how it all works and to get to know your audience, etc. Which I thought, maybe they have a point. Let's just get familiar with the whole Patreon platform first. There's a nice list of benefits if you become a Patreon. First, of course, general support for me. As one of my wonderful followers and friends said, I want to support you, but I do not want to fill my house with more yarn. Why not? I don't understand it, but yeah, I do understand it. So I thought this would be a nice way. You can support me, my time for making the podcast, for other content that I'm putting out on Patreon as well. There will be early access to the podcast. You get to see this 24 hours before everyone else can see it. There is a discount code for the shop, so you get 5% off of everything you buy in my web shop. There are polls and questions I ask specifically for patrons to, well, for instance, if I want to buy some new yarn, maybe you have a colorway you have been lusting over it from that brand, or you want to give me some input on bases I'm lacking in my repertoire. That is where Patreon comes in. And yeah, there will be other tiers later on, but for now I'm sticking to this one for a little while. I am working on the other ones, but it has to do with yarn, yearly limited edition yarn and exclusive skeins and exclusive glass bead stitch markers, etc. I have to work it all out. I have to see if it's possible with Robert's health and everything. And yeah, for those who have already joined, thank you so much. You're seeing this video early now, so yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it, and I am blown away that you have already joined right away. It's really exciting, and it gave me a lot of boost to yeah, do new things. I guess I was just a bit miffed with everything because so much going on here and couldn't find energy to start working again, and this really gave me a boost, so thank you very much for that. And I guess with that we're gonna say goodbye to everyone who doesn't want to see the personal update. I totally understand. It's fine if you're just here for yarn and knitting and everything. I will see you again next time. Bye. And for those sticking around, thank you very much. And let me say that I will never say it's going well and no sad bad or any news ever again, because that's just asking for it. Just a few days after recording the last podcast, Robert had a weird thing. He suddenly lost all his words. He was talking total gibberish. We had done work in the kitchen, painted everything we had to paint. He had removed the tape and everything to protect the other parts you don't want to paint. We were just making dinner and suddenly it was all gone. He couldn't tell me what was wrong. I could tell what was wrong. He couldn't find his words. I had the experience last year, but way smaller. This was way bigger. He lost everything. And yeah, just words coming out that didn't make any sense. It was really scary. I let it go for a few minutes and then I called the hospital, like, something's wrong. This is not okay. Thinking it might be another brain bleed or another tumor. And the doctor said, just come in. Just come in. So we went to the ER. Mind you, this was on Sunday evening. I called at about 5:15 and we were there within 30 to 40 minutes and we were inside within 5 minutes. Normally you have a waiting room for the ER that is filled to the brim and long waiting times, etc. The waiting room was empty and we were inside right away. So yeah, that was a really nice experience. So it was 6 by then. He was still talking gibberish. So they could actually see and notice that. He had to say his birth date. Something completely different came out. So it was really, really scary. He then got a blood test, which was really, really funny because I'm going to draw your blood now, the nurse said. And Robert said, why? I know, hindsight, it was really funny. At the moment, I could just, so much shame about that. I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? You need to have your blood drawn. You know that. It's always happening. Yeah. So, he then had a CT scan. And he had another CT scan. The first one was a regular one. The second one was with contrast. And knowing what I know from last time, that they only had to do the first one to see the huge tumor and all the fluid around it, I knew this was good news that he had 2 CT scans. Both were clear, so it wasn't a brain bleed, a clot, or tumor. Epilepsy. And yeah, I did not know this could be epilepsy. So they gave him meds. He slept right away from the meds, which is normal. He woke up a tiny bit better. They gave him even more meds. And then he got wheeled away already to stay the night. And he went to his room. That moment I went home. I think it was about 8 p.m. So within 2 hours we went from going in to going to his room. Super fast. I think this is the fastest we've done. Probably. So yeah, I went home, got his bag with everything he needed. And when I came back, I think it was about 45 minutes later, he was able to talk again. So the meds definitely worked. And that made the case clear that it was an epileptic insult. So we have now added that to the mix. He's getting meds for it every day. So, and I have a little nasal spray for when something happens. Let's just hope the other meds work and this will never happen again because it scared the shit out of us, both of us. So yeah, no fun. No fun at all. So yeah, that's why my knitting mojo was dead, totally gone. No crafting at all for, I think, 4 days. And then I picked up crochet and I was like, oh, yeah, this is actually okay. I like that. So yeah, that's why. We are both a bit more relaxed now. The meds seem to work. We had a week where we just needed sleep, rest and nothing. Mostly for Robert, but also a bit for me. Yeah, he was so tired. You have to imagine that your head is just, yeah, his brain just had a shortcut. So short-circuited or something. I totally understand that when your brain is basically fried, you just need rest. So he slept a lot and he's still resting daily, twice, sometimes 3 times a day. Which is fine. We just have to adjust to this new normal and figure out a way to live with that. Which is difficult sometimes, and on other times, yeah, well, it is what it is and we have to deal with that. So this morning is the first morning that he is working a little bit, and so far it seems to be okay. He's working from home. He gets distracted easily, and if he gets distracted, he has a hard time focusing on one thing again. But he can only do one thing at a time, because otherwise he's just super tired within a really short time. So that's how it is at the moment. Adjusting to another new normal and new meds that also have plenty of side effects. So yeah, not the happy news I was telling you last time. So oh well. Yeah. I guess with that I am already saying goodbye and keeping this a rather short episode. I will see you again when I will see you again, hopefully in 2 weeks, but can't promise anything. Until then, I hope you have a good time and you have lots of fun with your crafts, and I will see you again later. Bye bye!